Hello all and welcome to Astro Wheel of Fortune. My name is Vlada and I read tarot, and today I'm doing a reading that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I haven't gotten around to it for whatever reason. But I've been wanting to do this reading for a while. The topic is, how does your energy change the energy of the room or of a space that you walk into? So I've been thinking about the idea of humans, and not just humans as variables. We're all our own variable. So when we come into a room, the room might have a certain energy. Once we're placed in that room, we as a variable alter it. And so that's just a concept that I've been really thinking about a lot, and as a result, it's something that I wanted to do a reading on, because I feel maybe there's something that you can realize about yourself through this reading. So the title of the video is probably going to be somewhere along the lines of, how do you alter a space that you go into, or how does your energy alter the energy of a space that you go into. I'll probably think of a better title. I can't quite place it right now, but we'll see what it ends up being. But really the point is to look at you as a variable, like as an energy that is a variable that walks into a space, and how does your energy alter it? What are the effects that your energy has on a space, on a room full of people, on any sort of space that you walk into. So we've got 4 groups here. We've got group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. If you want to pause the video, you can do so to muse over the cards, see which one you're being pulled to. I feel like I want to encourage you to just pick one, just to like really tune into the reading. I feel like if you're someone who's prone to picking like multiple groups, I don't know why I feel like prompting you to just pick one for this specific reading. And then what I want to encourage you to do is, with this reading, just pick one group, and if you feel like there's additional messages for you to be had, don't go to another group, but more so like maybe sit on it and meditate on it, and maybe see what additionally comes to you. Like, what are you channeling additionally to the message that has come through for you here today? So I'm just going to challenge you to do that if you feel like it. Now, if you enjoyed this reading and you would like to connect with me to either get connected to me through one of my services, whether that's Patreon or a private reading on Etsy, the links are in the description box below. If you would like to connect with me in regards to doing some coaching together, you can connect with me through my Instagram DMs, or you can email me, astrowheeloffortune@gmail.com. And if you enjoy this video and you'd like to tip me, of course not expected, but it would be appreciated if you wanted to. You can tip me at the bottom of the video with the thanks button, the love heart thanks button, or you can tip me through my PayPal link, which is also down below in the description box. So with that, let's get started. I'm going to pull the cards away, and we're going to get started with group number 1. Group number 1, let's see. How do you alter the energy of a space when you walk into it? How does your energy alter the energy of a space that you walk into? We've got Sword, make the change. Meditation for clarity. Addict, helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. And then we've got Shadow attribute, comprises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. And lastly, we got Cow spirit, the miracles are endless. So let me just look over these cards. I will be live shuffling tarot as well for this, but let me just look over these cards first. I think when you walk into a room, your energy, there's something very honest about your energy, is the way that I would put it. you almost, something about your energy is as a variable in another space or in a room full of people. When you come into a room full of people, you amp up people's need to be honest, or people's need to be authentic in some sort of way with themselves, especially. So, because she's a mirror, she has a mirror here, and she's looking into a mirror, and she's looking into this. This is kind of like almost like a mirror as well. There's a sort of a reflection here. It's almost like a shadow. But I'm just getting this reflective surface. And then she has a sword here, and sword like is honesty. To me, swords, it's this clarity or honesty. And we've got meditation and clarity here, or meditation for clarity. Your energy, just purely your energy, because we're looking at your energy rather than like your behavior or your, the way that you speak, what you say. This is really about your energy. Your energy alone, when you walk into a room, instantly makes people reflect on who they are and their own shadows, even if they don't realize it, that they're doing it in the moment. At the same time, though, there's something about your energy that is very comforting. So I kind of feel like people feel, it's like they don't know how to feel, because there's a feeling of feeling exposed around you. Again, keep in mind, this could be quite a subtle energy. They may not be consciously aware of this. When you walk into a room, you increase, let's say there were a group of people in a room. When you walk into that room, you increase the need for people to be honest and authentic with themselves and to really face themselves, especially in things that they don't want to face themselves in, and something that they like don't like about themselves. But it's also kind of like something that they should really love about themselves. There's something about, you make a room full of people confront the fact that they like really don't like something about themselves, when they really should love it, or they should really nurture it in some sort of way. Your energy is definitely, you hold up a mirror to, like, if this was a room full of people, you would hold up a mirror to all these people with your energy. But it's like you're holding up the mirror to very specific things. It's kind of like you're holding up a mirror to people's shadows, but in a kind of like very loving way at the same time. Because there's a very abundant nature to you at the same time. There's something very miraculous and magical to you. And your energy. And so you add an extra layer of magic or miracles when you walk into a room. The atmosphere in a room may become more magical, but at the same time, with that magic coming in and things becoming magical in the room, things also become, it's like it becomes very easy for people to see themselves for who they truly are all of a sudden. And there's no there's no hiding away or pretending. It's like you kind of force people into being honest, but there is also beauty in that. So it kind of feels like it depends on also the people that are in the room, because when you come into a room, you create the potential for honesty and authenticity. And there are people that are going to love that. They're going to love that you're making them more authentic in themselves. They're going to love that you're making them see certain aspects of themselves that they were kind of trying not to see, but all of a sudden they're noticing like, oh, I'm seeing this aspect of myself and I was so afraid to look at it, but I'm actually excited that I'm seeing this aspect of myself in the presence of this person, in the presence of group one. But there will also be people who will really not like that. And so it kind of depends, right? So your energy, because the way there's like she's cutting her hair with the sword. I'm really getting you kind of cut the bullshit, and especially with the cow, it makes me think of like bull. You kind of cut the bullshit in a big way with your energy. It's like even before maybe you also cut the bullshit in your speech. I don't know. Again, like we're looking at your energy primarily. It's like if you walk into a room as a variable, it's as if there's a silent voice saying into everyone's ear, okay, cut the bullshit now. It's time to be authentic. It's time to be real. And that's very interesting. Okay, let's pull some tarot cards to see. But at the same time, with the cow spirit, the cow energy, there's something very gentle about you at the same time. So some people might even feel disoriented around you because they feel like they can trust you. And like they should trust you. But your ability to create this like honesty and authenticity to people who are not used to that like honesty and authenticity can feel dangerous in some sort of way. So it depends on the person or the people, the room of people that you're interacting with. But I think, again, I don't want to just focus on people because I'm trying to think of like how your energy alters a space. So I feel like when you alter a space, let's say there was no people in it, you would bring a lot of nurturing energy to it. Like, let's say you came into a space and you filled it with your energy. You know, you decided to sit down and meditate and fill it with your energy. When you come into a room, when you come into a space, you bring a lot of nurturing energy, a lot of caring energy, but it's also like that nurturing and caring energy of like, stop lying to yourself. You know, imagine like whoever you can, the most caring, nurturing person that you can think of, like whoever that is for you, whoever, like when you think of a very caring and loving and nurturing person, someone who is not out to get you, is not out to overpower you, just wants to nurture you, just wants to help you feel heard and loved. But they're telling you, as you're seeing that energy, they're telling you, okay, but you need to cut the bullshit. I love you, but you need to cut the bullshit. That is your energy, and that is the energy that you fill a room with. You need to stop lying to it's kind of like, I love you, I care about you, I want the best for you, but you need to stop lying to yourself. And if you can't stop lying to yourself, I can't help you. There's that kind of feeling with this group. That's the group. There's something about like, kind of like a motherly nature that I'm picking up on. Like nurturing nature that is very, knows how to be stern, but like not stern in a mean or cold. It's like really warm sternness that I'm picking up with you. And your energy is kind of perfect for discipline, for people who have been disciplined in very harsh ways. That's almost the way that I would put it. Your energy is perfect for showing people that discipline or consistency or accountability can happen through a mode that is not cold, is not detached, is not abusive, and actually quite warm and loving and nourishing. But there's something very, like, people feel like they can't hide from you. That is definitely something that I'm feeling here with group one. People feel like, you might kind of make a lot of people feel disarmed because it's like, they know they just won't be able to hide from you. We've got the Judgment card here. Judgment Day. It's kind of like you bring Judgment Day with you. There is something of like, there is an energy of a wake-up call with you, especially with the Addict card. I feel like you highlight to people without even knowing, without saying anything, just with your energy, their obsessions, addictions, or like things that they're doing that are not good for them. Things that they're doing consistently that are not good for them, patterns of behavior that are not good for them. And and they're not good for them because they're not authentic to them. It's not just because like, oh, it's not good for me, like it's not healthy. It's also like, this is not authentic to me. And they can feel that in themselves. So if a person is doing something that is not authentic to them, or like if they're talking or acting in a way that is not authentic to them in your presence, it's like they can feel that inauthenticity in themselves like 20 times worse. It becomes so obvious. It's like if a person is putting on a certain voice or is putting on a certain way of speaking or acting to impress the room, and you're in the room, they feel like a phony. And maybe if you weren't in the room, they wouldn't feel like a phony. They'd just be like, they wouldn't even think about it twice. But for some reason, your energy is like, makes them feel like a phony. And it kind of makes them go, oh my God, I'm doing something that's very unauthentic to me. And some people might kind of go, oh, that's interesting. In their energy, they might feel like, that's interesting. I'm not being true to myself right now. And some people might really go, I don't like that person. They make me feel uncomfortable because I feel like a phony around them. But you're not doing it to, like, you're not doing it on purpose. This is just your energy. I think it is because you're so authentic in yourself. But again, at the same time, these people can feel their own inauthentic behavior, but they can also feel like some sort of loving, encouraging warmth. So it's like your energy is saying to them, hey, you're being inauthentic and you're not staying true to yourself, and you're kind of betraying yourself with this behavior because you think it's going to impress whoever is around, or it's, it's not going to impress, or it's like it might impress, but it won't be something that feels good to you. But it's kind of like you're not judging them for it. Even though we've got the judgment card, people might feel judged almost like because they judge themselves as a result. But your energy at the same time is very like loving and caring with the cow spirit here. And I think that's very interesting. It's kind of like the only reason a person would feel judged in your presence is because they're actually judging themselves. You kind of highlight that to people. You highlight where a person judges themselves. And again, it's kind of like there is something very shadow worky about this. Like there's something, you might trigger people into shadow work in some sort of way, but it does feel quite nurturing and loving. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. It is nurturing and loving, and it's very, you provide you provide honesty and authenticity as a sustenance and as a nourishment with your energy. Your energy is very nourishing, and you kind of, with your energy, whatever way you show up, your energy makes people feel, hey, you're worthy of being authentic and being heard. You don't need to put on this show. You don't need to say things that you're saying here right now. You don't need to do these behaviors that don't resonate with you and you're just maybe addicted to. It's okay. But again, it's like the addiction within or the obsession within will become defensive then. And so you might have people getting defensive with you before you even say anything, before you even express yourself with your words or actions. Just expressing yourself energetically, people may get defensive with you. I almost feel like people do get defensive with you. Not everyone though, because I think some people are actually very drawn to that. And I think there will be people who are so drawn to that because they're so ready to confront their addictions. So it kind of depends. It's like whoever is ready to confront their addictions or obsessive behaviors or behaviors that are not authentic to them, but they can't seem to stop doing because doing these behaviors has paid off in some sort of way before, but they're so ready to let go of them. Maybe not even consciously, just like subconsciously, they just know, I'm ready to let go of this. Those people are like moths to a flame to you. But then there's also people who are not ready to let go of those kind of things. And I think they may be the people who, like, I don't know, do you have people kind of starting on you before you even said anything? Like, I'm kind of getting, you may have people kind of disliking you even though they've never like really spoken to you, or and I almost get certain people might even be like, why do I not like this person so much? And it comes from a point of view of like, they can tell you're not a bad person, but they feel such a defensiveness towards you that it creates like a, I don't like them, I don't like them, I don't like them, they make me uncomfortable. But it's not that there's something wrong with you, it's that there's that resistance. There's an interesting energy to you. And then you have people who are like, I think you're quite a polarizing person, group one. I feel like you probably do attract people that either just are like, oh my God, your energy is exactly what I need right now. I need a dose of just complete authenticity. I need a dose of seeing myself for exactly who I am and seeing my addictions and my obsessions for exactly what they are. I really need this right now. I need someone's energy to show me where I've been inauthentic and where I'm repeating patterns that are just like not for me anymore. And those people are just going to be like, whew, to you. I'm almost kind of getting like a little bit of a pedestal energy. But there will also be people who will be like, your energy will force them or result in them judging themselves. And because they're judging themselves because of your energy, because your energy is like very reflective, they assume that you're judging them but you're not. I don't think you're a very judgmental person, to be honest, group number one. Your energy might come off judgmental though. That's what and I feel like your energy will only come off judgmental to people that judge themselves very harshly. That's the irony of it. It's kind of like, and then people that don't not necessarily judge themselves very harshly, they're aware of their obsessiveness or their addictive behaviors, but they don't judge themselves for them. They're just kind of like, I'm ready to work on these. Your energy comes across as someone who's going to help them work on them. Your energy is like, oh, I can see that this person will be helpful and supportive of me confronting my inauthentic, addictive, obsessive behaviors. Whereas a person who's like in denial about their addictive, obsessive behaviors will think that you're judging them. All the while, maybe neither is even true. You're just chilling, potentially. Maybe you're just there. I think with the Fool, because if you watch my Tarot by Tarot series, if you haven't, please check it out. I would really appreciate it if I could get more views and engagement on those videos and have more conversations happening around it. But what came out with the Fool card was this idea of random and being like a randomized button almost, or a randomized energy. And it's just like the idea of existing in chaos and just liking chaos. I do feel like there's something to your energy that feels a little bit chaotic, but it's not like chaos like you're distracted or neurotic, or I feel like you could be a Virgo rising. I don't know why I'm picking up on that, but you could be an Earth rising in general, but I'm really picking up on Virgo rising, Taurus rising maybe. But I'm picking, there's just something quite chaotic about your energy, but it's not that you're chaotic. You are chaos personified in some sort of way. And there was kind of like a thing about like chaos brings clarity, confusion brings clarity, boredom brings clarity. Like at some point when you are confused or bored or you feel like things are chaotic, you can do something that is completely random, something that is completely out of your behavior that you're used to. And that can bring you clarity. And I think there's something, you make people kind of act out of character sometimes, I think. And that freaks them out a little bit. It's like your energy makes people act a little bit out of character. And I mean, when I say out of character that they've built up as a behavioral pattern because you make their authentic self jump out. And some people like that. Some people go, oh my God, that was very out of character, but my authentic self jumped out here. My authentic self really jumped out here around this person, and therefore they become like very drawn to you. And then there's some people that have built up a character for themselves, a behavioral pattern for themselves that, you know, they would see as their character, and maybe a side of them that they don't like jumps out. And they're like, oh my God, I was meant to keep that hidden. A part of me that is really out of character came out here. And it's because of this person. And there's like you kind of get blamed for this sometimes, I think, group one, but I don't want you to feel like that's a bad thing. There's just, you make people feel kind of chaotic. And some people like that because you make people feel like, oh my God, I'm letting go of this control on a certain pattern of behavior. This pattern of behavior doesn't have control over me anymore. Some people see it like that. And some people see it as, I'm losing control. People feel like they lose control around you, but it's not. The funny thing is, it's not because you're gaining that control in their place. It's not like they're losing control and you're gaining control as a result. They're just losing control around you because that's your energy field. Your energy field makes people kind of relinquish control, whether they like it or not. And without control, clarity comes and truth comes and honesty comes. Because when we're very controlled, we can be dishonest because we're controlling ourselves from showing like the very authentic part of ourselves. Your energy is very intense. I think a lot of people get like very intense feelings around you. They could have very intense feelings around you. But again, it's like at the same time, there's something nurturing. I think the way that you alter a space is that you make a space feel more chaotic, but like in a good way where you bring a healthy dose of chaos. That the point of chaos here, specifically with your energy, is to create authenticity. Your chaos has a purpose, and that is to create authenticity and clarity. I think also when you leave a room, people can be a bit disoriented because it's kind of like things can never go back to normal because the room has been altered with your energy, and this chaos has brought clarity and has brought, this kind of wake-up call energy is coming through here. When you enter a space, you create a wake-up call within the space that you're entering. And it's this energy of like repetitive or obsessive behaviors that were created to mask authenticity can't help but fall apart when your energy enters a room. I just think it's very difficult for people to hide themselves around you. The real thing will always jump out around you. It's like, and it's not because you're forcing them to. It's because the authentic part of them is so attracted to your authenticity that it jumps out past the mask, past the facade. And it's not that you're just standing there and that's your energy and the person is standing there beside you. But within it, like in the very depths, there's a little, there's that core side of them that really wants to get out and hasn't gotten out in a very, very long time. And your authentic energy is so strong that it kind of like magnetizes it. It's like it jumps out. But again, it's like that's not your fault. It's just your energy, and your natural energy is going to like pull energy similar to it out. I feel like you're just a very, 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 very honest and authentic person, while also remaining nurturing and caring, and empathetic. And I think you're someone who, you might even be someone who's very open about your own addictions if you've had any. I mean, we all have addictions, but I just mean for some of you, maybe you had addictions to like things that are very specific. And maybe you just, you talk about your addiction and how you kind of like conquered it or overcome it. Or you're just like very open about that idea of being obsessive, or you're like your flaws and weaknesses, you're very open about it, but not from a perspective of like just telling people, oh, this is my weakness and this is my flaw. You're just very authentic in the fact that we all wear a mask. Everyone has a mask and everyone wears a mask. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it does not mean that we should completely diminish our authentic self. And I think there's something like that. Your energy is just very, 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 very authentic. Very true to itself. I think you're just very true to yourself. And I think that pulls out that energy from other people. So that's what I'm kind of picking up on for you, group number 1. That's how you alter an energy when you come into a room, group number 1. This was a very interesting one to start with, and we spent a long time on it, but I think this one was a cool one. Yeah, you make people feel like they're compelled to be more honest. So let's move on. We're going to move forward. So let's move forward to, if you like this video, if you like this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment, especially with your feedback. It would really help my engagement. If you just even wanted to say hello in the comments, thank you. Let's move forward. So we're moving on. We're moving on to group number 2. Group number 2, let's get into it. Let's look at your energy and how it alters a space. When your energy enters a space, how does it alter it? Let's get into it. We've got Phoenix. How's that for happily ever after? We've got rebirth and reinvention. We've got Messiah, serving humanity with humility, or it says exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. And we've got chameleon spirit, act as if. You know what's unique about your energy is that you absorb, rather than alter the energy of the room, I think. You absorb the energy of the room. It does not mean that you don't alter it, because what I'm seeing is that you take something on from the room and that's how it alters the room. And what you take on, I am picking up on, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of picking up on you taking grief. Like, you are able to kind of pull grief from the... You definitely need to cleanse a lot, group 2. Whoever you are. Because if you're aware of this and this is something that you do and you're like, I know, I take on this energy and I pull it out. I pull it out and I cleanse. You're kind of like a clear quartz of people. Like, there's something very cleansing about you when you come into a room. You're able to pull out a lot of grief from a room. You're able to pull out a lot of difficult vibrations or emotions from a room. There is something kind of like self-sacrificial about your energy. But I am really picking up the way that you alter the room is not what you're putting into it. It's more like what you're taking out of it. And what you're taking out of it is something that feels quite heavy. But I think you are doing that because you can also transmute it afterwards. So like, because you have to put it somewhere. So I feel like a lot of you need to, I'm just getting, you need to spend a lot of time in nature, or you need to spend a lot of time, like, especially with her being in water, like some of you may need to swim or go into water to let out that energy into water. I don't know, maybe cleansing baths, that would make sense for a lot of you. I feel like cleansing baths. But I'm also looking at this and there's like smoke everywhere. This kind of makes me feel like you cleansing your room and like, maybe you're using incense or whatever. I feel like you really need to cleanse a lot, group, too. Because you take on the shape of the room in order to cleanse. You cleanse the room when you're in it. And so you need to cleanse yourself when you leave a certain room. It kind of feels like if you leave a particularly difficult environment, like if you were at a party and there was a fight and people were like in a bad mood or something happened, you need to cleanse yourself after you get home from that party, because you're carrying a lot of that energy, because you've taken some of the energy out so that the situation doesn't escalate so badly, or people don't feel so sad. And I also feel like you have the ability to stop doing that as well. And so that kind of makes me feel like you need to really, I don't know if you need to work on your protection. Some of you may actually just do this. Like you may have a really good protective practice of yourself energetically. You may have a very good cleansing practice for yourself. Like, I'm not particularly seeing that this is something like, oh, you don't know how to cleanse yourself energetically, or you don't know how to protect yourself energetically. For a lot of you, I think you do know, and you know when to close yourself off from that energy, because I do think you have that ability. You're kind of like a sponge, but you can make the decision, especially if you practice it and if you work on it, where to suck that negative or difficult energy out, and where to say to yourself, you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take this energy out. I'm going to allow the energy of the room to remain the way it is, because I can't take it on today, or I can't take it on right now. I also feel like your energy, especially when you're taking that energy on in a room. But see, one thing that I'm picking up is that you can do the same with positive emotions. It's not only negative emotions that you can do that with. You can also do that with positive emotions. And it's not like you're being an energetic vampire and like sucking the life out of people, but you can really soak up it's kind of like if it's a party and everyone's having fun and everyone's like having the best time, you can be recharged by that energy. There's like a really interesting kind of like, you're just such an absorbing type of person. There's a lot of absorption with you. It's kind of like whatever you absorb, you then need to go and expel in some sort of way. And I feel like I think a lot of you could benefit from doing some sort of form of like witchcraft or spirituality rituals, where if you take on negative energy, you go and you cleanse and you go into water, or you have a very strong cleansing ritual. If you take on, let's say you're at a party and you're having a great time and it's just the best party you've been to and you feel so re-energized, like you can be re-energized more than a regular person by a really great atmosphere. People are generally re-energized by a great party or a great atmosphere or a great time together with people, but for you it's so much more intense. Like you really, just more than an average person, you're able to really, that great party or that great thing that you went and did with a bunch of friends, it can re-energize you for the upcoming months, and your battery will be so strong for the upcoming months. And I think it's about how good are you at wielding that, because you're kind of like an energy manipulator. It's not really about how your energy alters the room, in terms of like what do you bring to the room or what do you take out of it. It's more like you're able to alter the mood of the room by taking certain elements away or absorbing certain elements in a certain way. So for you, it's more like playing with energy. You're someone who can actually play with energy I'm just, I feel like you're someone, I'm really getting strong Cancer energy with this group, but I'm also getting strong Pisces here. Because like Scorpio as well, because I feel like this is water signs in general. Water signs can alter, if a water sign is angry or sad, they can make the whole room feel angry and sad and awful. If a water sign is happy and loving and in an amazing like emotional place, they can make the whole room feel this kind of like beautiful emotional energy. And I feel that kind of element with you. It's like if you're angry, the whole room could potentially, if you don't know how to control it correctly. But for a lot of you, I think you can. The whole room will feel that way. But you're also able to, if the whole room is angry and you are kind of coming in as a vessel into the room, you can kind of take that anger out. But it's not like you're taking the anger onto yourself. You're just taking the anger away. You are putting it into your energy field, and you can handle that. Like there's something about you being able to handle certain, you can handle more energy in your energy field than a regular like person, in a way that's like, I don't know if that's completely accurately correct, but it's just, it's kind of like what I'm getting as a metaphor is like if there was an electricity, kind of like electricity being fed to two different appliances, and the same amount of electricity was fed to two different appliances, but one appliance could only take a certain amount of electricity and the other appliance could take way more. If you turned up the electricity, one of them would explode and the other one would be like completely fine and powered up, and just something about that is coming through with you. But a lot of you could actually learn how, like, there's something about, I'm getting very strong alchemy with this group 2. A lot of you have the capacity, if you haven't already learned how to do this, you have the capacity to take on anger and instantly transmute it into like joy or passion. You know, let's say if you go into a room and you're like, there's a lot of anger in this room, I'm going to gather that anger into my energy and I'm going to tinker with it in my own energy, and I'm going to really play around with it in my own energy, and I'm going to expel it as joy. And I'm able to alchemize that anger into joy. I'm able to alchemize that sadness into care. It's like the way you digest energy. That's the way that I would put it. It's not really about, you can alter a room in so many different ways. That's the thing. You're very powerful when it comes to energy work. I think a lot of you could do energy work. 10 of Swords in reverse. Yeah, I feel like, I honestly think when you're in a room, especially if you've been in like at parties or things before where things went kind of south, things could have been a lot more worse if you weren't in that room. Like there's almost that feeling here. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Let me think. I think especially like, because I think you're always doing energy work, even if you're not privy to it, like on a conscious level, you're always doing energy work, group number 2. And it's almost like your guides want you to become more conscious of it if you're not conscious of it. And it kind of feels like you can sometimes even make it feel like the time has stopped. Like nothing, like the time is not moving in some way. I don't know, like let me know if you do energy work, because I'm really picking up on that very strongly. I think this kind of feels like energy worker, energy healer, like maybe you do Reiki or something like that. On honestly, I'm even getting like a smidge of exorcism or something. Like there's something. You can flip the energy on its head. Like, if you haven't learned how to do that yet, I feel like that's kind of what you came here to do. Like, you know, if we were to look at your life purpose is kind of transmuting and alchemizing energy, like taking sadness, turning it into care, taking anger, turning it into joy and like excitement, taking I don't know, resentment and turning it into peace or something like that. Like there's something very like, I take this emotion and I turn it into this, and I take this emotion and I turn it into this. You can do it the other way around as well. You can turn positive emotions into like emotions that are not feeling so positive. There's not such thing as like positive or negative emotion or whatever, but for the sake of explaining this, it just kind of feels like you can go either way. It depends on what you decide to do. Maybe you're a bit of a menace and you do decide to turn positive emotions into negative emotions, but you have that power, is what I'm picking up on. But it feels like, I don't know why, but I feel like there's something you have to work out karmically from this perspective almost. And I don't know, some of you might be already aware of that there's a karmic cycle that you've had in previous lifetimes where maybe you didn't know how to wield this like power or this ability, because this feels like an ability almost. It's not just a question of like how do you alter a room or a space when you walk into it. It's the fact that you're actually someone who came here on this earth to practice energy manipulation, is what I'm picking up on. Like on a big scale, because in a way we're all manipulating energy, right? There's a level to this where we're all manipulating energy. That's like literally us living life. That's literally the magician card, where it's all about manipulating energy. But you are meant to learn how to do that on a larger scale than most people. You're kind of meant to be a pro at it, if I'm honest. And I feel like for some of you, you are not there yet. For some of you, you are already like doing energy healing, energy work. You do manipulate energy on that kind of scale already. But I feel like your guides are like, you haven't even scratched the surface if you're doing that. If you're someone who's watching this and you're like, yeah, I do energy work. Your guides are like, you haven't even scratched the surface of what you can do when it comes to energy manipulation. But you're someone who needs to cleanse like a lot because of this, because like doing this energy work and energy manipulation on such a large scale, it is going to be tiring. And the way that you stop it from being tiring, or you maintain it so that it doesn't tire you out too much, is to make sure that there's cleansing that happens like consistently. I also feel something to my left. I don't know, like this is very strange. I just really, really feel something to my left. I feel like almost like a hand on my shoulder. So for some of you, maybe you feel something on your left. Maybe like a specific energy likes to hang out on your left. I don't know, but I'm just picking up almost like a hand on my shoulder on my left. And I'm kind of like, I got a slight ringing in my ear. It wasn't a full on one like I usually get, but there was like a slight, very slight, but I feel something very, very close to my left shoulder. It feels like an energy. I wonder if there's a spirit guide or like a specific guide that you have that is kind of like your mentor when it comes to this energy work. It's kind of your guide to this energy work. So maybe there's a guide that wants to work with you. And maybe you already know this guide and you already work with this guide, but for some of you, I feel that. Don't overthink this energy work is what I'm getting. Make sure that you're allowing yourself to do it in a way that feels authentic to you. Don't rush it. Don't try to make it go quicker than it needs to. I feel like this ended up being a slightly different reading for you, group 2, because I really feel like this is not about... You could literally change an energy in a room in any way that you wanted if you knew how to like work this like skill or talent almost. You could help a lot of rooms that you walk into, or you could like, not help them, but if you wanted to, you could help a lot of rooms that you walk into by transmuting energy and like really knowing how to do that in a way that doesn't harm you either. And I feel like that's something you came here to master, that in some sort of way, to learn how to absorb the energy, transmute it through you without harming yourself or making yourself feel in any way dysregulated, and outputting energy that is more productive or is more helpful to the room that you're in. You're almost like someone who could walk into a room and notice it's like, oh, this energy is not helpful to this room and this energy is not helpful to this room. Let me take them. Let me transmute it. Let me put out this kind of energy that is much better and this kind of energy that is much better. And now I'm done. And then you're like, okay, I don't feel any worse for it. I've just changed the energy. That's just like something that I do. But then maybe you go home and you go, I don't feel any worse, but I just need to cleanse myself because, I need a cleansing ritual from time to time, maybe even, there could be something like that. You might need a cleansing ritual that you do, maybe on the new or the full moon or something like that. But yeah, this feels like there's something very specific that you're actually supposed to do with energy manipulation. And I think some of you are already doing it. So I'm going to leave that here. I hope this reading resonated. I'm sorry, it kind of changed into something slightly different for you, group too, but I think there's definitely a reason for that. So we're just going to leave that here. If you like this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment, especially with your feedback. If you feel like it, I would really appreciate it. But we're going to move on. So let's move on to group number 3. So group number 3, let's get into how do you alter the energy of the room that you walk into or any space that you walk into. How does your energy alter the energy of the space that you walk into? We've got flower, be honest with yourself. We've got joy and delight. Mediator, gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument, and also negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. And we've got brown bear spirit, take time out. You know what? I'm kind of getting take a time out. Like, when two people are fighting and someone's like, just take a time out, just take a time out. You could make people feel less argumentative when you walk into a room. Your energy before you say anything, before you do anything, before you take any action, could make people just feel less argumentative, less on edge. Kind of feels like if you're in a room, people feel like things will be fair and they won't have to fight for their own, like they won't have to fight for themselves as much. Won't have to, like someone will be on their side and that someone is you. Even if they don't know that for sure, your energy kind of promises that. There's something quite protective about your energy without being overbearing or possessive. It's like I'm protective without being possessive. I'm getting very strong Taurus and Libra, so very strong Venus energy. Um, I think your energy is very lighthearted, but not in a way that is ungrounded. I, ju- I just can't help but feel like people feel like things will be fair if you're around. If your energy's around, if your energy enters a room, you bring a sense of fairness and balance and like fun and joy. It's like, hey, everyone can have fun because it'll be a really good time, and don't worry, nobody will be treated unfairly. Nobody will be treated different from the rest. Um the energy that I'm getting is that, like, if you ever had in school had a teacher who you felt like they never had favorites, but like every child was able to have like a really great time in the class and enjoy themselves, and you know those teachers that, like, I definitely remember that happening in school where, like, you would have like certain people in the class that would always act out, and they would do things in the class that was like acting out for certain teachers, but there would be a certain teacher in front of whom they would never act out. But it wasn't because this teacher was like massively scary, or in fact, it was the opposite. It was because the teacher was very gentle and relaxed and fair, and they didn't play favorites, and they were very kind of like, there's just such a balanced energy to that teacher. And so the kids that felt the need to act out usually didn't feel the need to act out in this specific teacher's class because they felt like there was balance. Like, because maybe the kids that were acting out in classes usually acted out because there was no balance, and they could feel it and they could sense it, and so in order to rebalance things they would act out. But like, that's the energy that you bring to a room, like someone who doesn't play favorites, someone who doesn't have like a favorite person in the room and they're just gonna side with that person. And it's not because you don't have strong opinions, it's not because this is just your energy, it's not about like what you say or what you do. You could have very strong opinions and you could have certain things that you really side on. But your energy is very like, I don't play favorites. I don't side with people who I think will create some sort of gain for me. I'm not going to side with people just because I think it's going to make me more successful. I am confident enough in myself that I can just be myself and enjoy everyone in this room equally. There's that kind of feeling. I think you bring a lot of balance into a room or into a space. You know what? Actually, this is so funny because when I was doing this group, I kept hearing nature. I remember when I was doing the shuffling for this group, I kept hearing nature for this group. And I forgot about it, but now I'm remembering because I thought that while I was shuffling the cards. I was like, I should mention that. Nature, 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 nature. And I feel like when you step into nature, something about your energy is like nature likes you, animals like you, because you don't play favorites with different expressions of nature. And like, what are expressions of nature? It's a tree, it's a flower, it's a dog, it's a cat, it's a fruit, it's a vegetable, it's a person, it's whatever, you know. Like, so what I'm picking up about you, group 3, is that nature likes you and therefore people like you. I actually think you're quite a likable person, group 3, in terms of your energy, in terms of your energetic vibe. Like, people just like being around you. Like, it feels comforting, it feels like relaxing, it feels loving. It feels like Venus, I think, being around you, group number 3. It feels, because Venus is comfort. and balance and love. You make your energy, when you walk into a space, it makes that space instantly feel more relaxed. I kind of getting just something, you bring something very cozy to a space. You bring something very cozy, very relaxed, but at the same time very grounded. It's kind of like, imagine a room that is really, really cozy and maybe it has like really nice candles lit and it maybe has like a lot of really comfortable furniture and it has everything that you might need while you're in that room. You know, maybe there's a kitchen around the corner where you could go get some food. Like, I'm just looking at this food and like there's everything that a person might need at a picnic. And there's just like something very comforting and protective and cozy and relaxed about your energy. Um, when people are around you and your energy, or when your energy is in a space, it feels like that's all that space needs. You know, you kind of make a space feel whole, complete in some sort of way. I think you could walk into like the dingiest of places and make it seem lovely. There's something like, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, group 3. It's just like that's the energy that I'm picking up on with you. Um I think you're just cozy as an energy. Very, very cozy. But this idea of like not playing favorites is really standing out to me for this group. I think you would make a good teacher or educator with children. You may like, I do feel like animals and children are very drawn to you. And it is because of that, like, you just don't play favorites. You're just, no matter who, you're just going to be yourself with them. Five of Cups. This is very specific, but I'm getting that there's something about your energy that makes people feel like very comfortable around you. But, you know, not everyone might approach you or talk to you. There's, and this doesn't feel super conscious. It feels like more of a subconscious thing or something like that. But something that I'm picking up with this group 3, if you're like ever at a party or somewhere and you are just enjoying yourself and speaking to people and just, because I think you just enjoy yourself so much in whatever situation you find yourself, or you appear to enjoy yourself. Your energy appears as if it's in its own enjoyment. And that is also like this Venusian energy. It's just like your energy enjoys itself, and therefore that makes the people around you enjoy you and makes them feel like they can enjoy themselves more as well. But I feel like there would be people who would like observe this enjoyment and absorb that energy of enjoyment from you, but they wouldn't approach you or talk to you necessarily. And I feel like usually there's something about people like regretting not speaking to you or not connecting with you. There's a lot of peace here with you and balance. But kind of feels like there could be maybe there was a lot of instances where yeah, I'm kind of getting like a lot of people tend to regret that they didn't maybe muster the courage to come and speak to you or connect with you. Because I think at the same time, even though you don't play favorites and you're not very kind of like um, you're open to speaking to everyone. Your energy is very open, like come and talk to me. It is an energy of like come and talk to me. You don't necessarily approach people that much from what I'm seeing here. You're kind of like, let me just enjoy myself and see who comes my way. And people who don't have that extra bit of courage to come and speak to you tend to like regret that they didn't. But again, I'm not seeing that as a super conscious thing. For some people it could be, but I feel like subconsciously sometimes people, there's this feeling of like, I wish I spoke to group number 3 at this event or this function or whatever it is. Got the King of Swords and we've got the 5 of Wands. Again, like there's competition or opposing sides, and you kind of, I almost feel like even if there's like 2 people at a party or at a place or a space that you're at, that we're likely to have a fight or have a debate or kind of like battle it out, just having you in the room and your energy in the room, they end up not having it out with each other or something like that. And it's like you don't even have to say anything, it's just your energy. I think you just make people want to get on with each other. I think that's the way that I would describe your energy. Is kind of like a glue of any space that you act as a glue. You come in and you glue the energies and the connections of the people together. You create more of a bonding between people in a group of people. You probably would be a powerful mediator. You could probably do that for a living to some capacity, because there's a binding energy to your. That's what I'm getting now. The binding energy to your aura or your energetic field. You come into a space and all of a sudden people that didn't like each other are maybe getting on better. All of a sudden people that were having like a heated debate, maybe they're just having a normal conversation now and it's like relaxed. People get on better with each other when you're around. And I think it's just your energy. I think you just enjoy life. I think there's something about you that you don't need anything too complex to enjoy life. And just people can feel your enjoyment through your aura, just through your energetic expression. And again, and it's not overwhelming. It's not this joy that feels like very bright and super, super intense. It's this very moderate energy. There's something very moderate with you. Like understated almost with your energy. Again, maybe you're not understated. Maybe you dress like really flamboyantly or something like that. It's just your energy is very understated. In a way, with the knight, this is the Knight of Swords, but it's actually kind of like a King of Swords in this, because there's like prince, princess, queen, and knight. So it's just, anyway, it doesn't matter. But the game master energy to me is like, you could really use that to your advantage. Like you could actually be someone who uses this energy that you bring into a room to manipulate, but I don't think you do that. I don't think that's what you do. But you could, if you wanted to, you could manipulate people to like do things that you want them to do. Because I think you are very charming. There's something very charming to you even before you start speaking. Before you start having a conversation with someone, your energy is just very charming. Again, it's like that Venus energy. I'm really feeling that Venus energy with you. You could be ruled by Venus, Taurus, or Libra rising. Or Venus could have a lot of contacts with other planets in your chart. Or maybe you have a lot of Taurus and Libra placements. Or like planets. But it's like your energy just moves pieces around in a room to create more balance and to make things feel more relaxed. And, no one's going to fight tonight. There's not going to be a fight. There's not going to be a conflict. Everyone's going to get on and we're going to have a great time. I think in a way you are the life of the party, but it doesn't feel like the life of the party that is just like someone who's very loud and is like dancing. You could be those things as well, but I'm not seeing. You could be a very, very, very quiet person, but somehow you're the life of the party if you're like walking into a room, because you create. Not that you create the party. You don't create the party part necessarily, but you create the bond and the closeness and the balance that it would take to enjoy the event or whatever it is. In order to enjoy something, you need to be in a balanced state, and I feel like that's what you provide into a space that you enter. You kind of slow the energy of a space down as well, but you slow it down in a way that is like almost like very pleasant. You could kind of iron out certain energies of chaos. Like if a space feels very chaotic, just your presence alone in that space can iron it out and make it seem like, oh, it's not as chaotic anymore. That's a very strong energy that I'm getting here. It's like, if there was a room where there was a lot of chaotic energy going on, a lot of chaotic characters, your presence alone can make it seem a lot less chaotic, a lot more balanced and relaxed. And it's just like your energy is very like, let's relax, let's just all get on, let's just enjoy ourselves today. Like that's your energy. Even if that's not kind of like how you express yourself because once you speak, once you express opinions, like that's going to be probably altering to the energy, but this is just your energy alone that we're looking at. But that's how you alter the energy of the room. Like that's exactly, it's like, hey everyone, let's just relax, let's all get along, let's have a good time today, okay? Like let's just enjoy ourselves. I'm not gonna play favorites. If you want to speak to me, just come up and speak to me. I would be really excited to speak to you, and you would genuinely be excited to speak to anyone. I think most people. But yeah, you just make people feel like it's okay to drop your guard and just enjoy yourself and have a pleasant time. And there's something quite protective about that. Like people feel protected in your presence, but it's not this protectiveness that is, very patriarchal, or you're like protective in this kind of like very, even though it's a bear energy here, it's like it's not a very burly kind of protectiveness. The protectiveness is more like I'm protected because I can feel a bit more relaxed, and that's what makes me feel protected, and that's your energy. But yeah, you're kind of like you're relaxant in some sort of way in your energy. Your energy definitely creates a sense of relaxation and just let's just all chill out. We can have a fight later. Like your energy is almost like park the fights, park the disagreements. We can have them later. We can talk about these things later, but for now, let's just enjoy ourselves and let's just have a good time. That's your energy. So I'm going to leave that here, group number 3. I hope this reading resonated with you. If you did like it, do like, subscribe, and comment, especially with your feedback if you feel like it, but I'm going to move on. So I'm going to move on to group number 4. Let's get into your reading on how your energy alters the energy of a room that you walk into. So let's get into it. We've got protest, start a revolution, a strong start, group 4, Jesus. We've got follow your dreams. Okay. We've got rebel. Okay, I don't think I even need to do a reading here. I feel like it's quite clear. We've got Cannery Spirit, sing your own song. Oh my god, this is hilarious. You are you an Aquarius, first of all? Do you have Aquarius placements? Do you have a lot of them? Is Uranus quite prominent in your chart? Is Saturn quite prominent in your chart? Um, you are your energy starts a revolution. It's a very rebellious energy. You make people want to rebel. Your rebellious energy comes in and um again, it's not rebellious in a way that it's toxic or that it's like rebellion for the sake of being contrary. It's not rebellion for the sake of rebellion without a cause. Um, but it is a rebellious nature or energy that I'm picking up on very strongly. And I think the rebellion is more so around following desires and following, like it says here, follow your dreams. I feel like you challenge people to dream bigger with your energy. You could be someone who's quite accomplished, and maybe you didn't come from a place where, it was very easy to accomplish those things, but you did it. Or maybe you're on your way there. There's this feeling like I don't, because we're just talking about your energy. We're not talking about your opinions or what you say or what you do. This is your energy and how your energy alters a space, a room full of people. First of all, I think you really, I'm really picking up on you attracting a lot of people onto you, like into your energy. So your rebellion is not something that repels people. Your rebellion is actually what attracts people. So your willingness to rebel against things that you feel stop you from following your dreams or from speaking your mind or from being honest and true, this rebellion from it is actually what attracts people to you. Um, but there's a very strong sense of like, we as a collective deserve to strive. I'm just getting such strong Aquarius energy with this. It's like we as a collective deserve to strive for better things. We deserve to dream big. We deserve to have big goals, um, on a collective level and individual level. And so that's something that I'm going to advocate for. That's something that I'm really going, and again, this is your energy. That's kind of how your energy speaks. So when you walk into a room, people may feel like you'd be someone who would stand up for them. There's this sense of like, even before they speak to you, even before they know you, there's this feeling of like, I can tell group number 4 would stand up for me. If I was being mistreated or something, like anyone in this room was being mistreated, group 4 would stand up for me and say something. They would not sit back and just go with the flow if they saw me being mistreated. There's something like that I'm picking up on here. But also I feel like even before you open your mouth to speak, people can tell that you as an energy are wishing them for them to achieve their dreams and goals. People feel in your presence, in your energetic presence, there's something quite inspiring about your energy. Like your energy inspires people to feel like they can achieve big things in life. And it's just your energy. It's nothing to, like, maybe once they speak to you, it's even more intense than that. But I feel like when people are kind of around you, if they haven't gotten into a conversation with you yet, if they haven't gotten to really, really connect with you yet, it's like they can just tell that you would advocate for them, that you would be like, yeah, hell yeah, you deserve this. Hell yeah, you deserve to go for this dream. And I think you can do it. You're probably would be an amazing motivational speaker. But again, this is more your energy. But if it's your energy, it means it can be, maybe you're someone who's actually quite shy, but your energy informs people that just something about you is coming across as a great motivational speaker. You could be someone who could really empower and inspire groups of people. What I feel with you, group number 4. And I think it's because your own energy, you know how to empower and inspire and push yourself in that kind of way. Like, I deserve to be unique. I deserve to, shoot for the stars and hope for really big things for myself. I deserve to live the best life that I could possibly live. And therefore, everybody else deserves that as well. That is your energy. I think you just live... I think the way that you live life may be perceived as a bit rebellious, or the way that, you walk into a room and there could be quite a few people looking at you going, that person doesn't always play by the rules. They do their own thing. And that is in some way inspirational. You could be someone who has a very unique energy, also maybe because of your style or the way that you... Again, we're talking strictly about your energy, but there could be something like the way that you dress or the way that you carry yourself in some sort of way. It's just this person doesn't care about the norm. This person doesn't care about what is socially acceptable or... Sing your own song. There is something quite individualistic about you, but at the same time, it's I'm individualistic because every single person deserves to be a true individual. That's the energy. It's very Aquarian. I have to say, there's such a strong Aquarius energy here within this group. We've got the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups, I'm kind of feeling like you make people feel like they fit in because you are... I think there's almost a quirky energy to you. There's something... You're very quirky. There's a very kind of quirky type of energy to you. And so because your quirky energy is so comfortable in itself, it makes others feel like their quirks are also okay. And there's a really strong sense of acceptance. I feel accepted. I feel connected. I don't know why I keep getting that you could be an amazing public speaker. Group number 4. Wow, we've got the Devil, oppression. You really show up as an energy of someone who challenges oppression. I do feel like the way that your energy alters a space is that you really challenge oppression in a space. Even if you don't open your mouth, if there's a person in a room that is very oppressive to other people, if there's a very clear oppressor within a group of people or within a room, you make that person in a way shrink in their energy, in their oppressive energy is the way that I would... you shrink oppressive energy in a room because oppressive energy does not have an effect on you. It can't. It's impossible for oppressive energy to have an effect on you, or almost. I suppose nothing is completely impossible, but it's very difficult. And I think there's that comfort as well. I think if you walked into a space and there was no people there, right? Let's say you just walk into a room. You can actually... You're someone who could charge the room with an energy that an oppressive energy wouldn't be able to come into it. Wouldn't be able to... you would be really good for, I don't know, coming into people's homes and charging their home with an oppressor could never walk into this home and take over in any sort of way. Like I'm almost picking up like you're blessing the home. And it's not even blessing. How do I describe it? Because what I'm getting is like, you know, the way in the past where or not in the past. Ugh. Sorry, I'm trying to describe this. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. It's like you actually make a room feel more protected because you either shrink the energy of the oppressor within the room or just oppressive energies within people as well. So if people feel certain oppressive energies within themselves imposed by society or laws or restrictions, you shrink the devil in the room, the oppressor in the room in a way. Because the oppressive energy doesn't have a hold on you. It's very hard to oppress you, group number 4. And I think that creates this very inspirational energy around you when you walk into a room. I also feel like animals feel very safe around you. You might even have like animals kind of like landing close to you or coming up very close to you, because it's not just because, whoa, this is an interesting thing that I'm channeling here, but maybe this is true. So, you know, like animals don't come to most people, right? Like wild animals, I mean, you know, like they would kind of run away or whatever. If you were like walking somewhere, the animal might run away. What I'm picking up on, just because an animal is running away from a person does not mean that that person is an oppressor and is an evil person. Sometimes the animal can sense that that person is under the influence of an oppressive energy. And so it's not, the person themselves may not be an oppressor, but they are under the influence of an oppressive energy, and so they can be manipulated by that oppressive energy, and an animal can sense that. Look, that's just something that I channeled. I don't know, but with you, it's like maybe animals are very likely to come near you or come close to you because they sense that you're just not oppressed by anything, and so therefore you can't be controlled by anything because you're not oppressed by anything. And I feel like animals especially can tell that it's very hard to oppress you. And because you're free without oppression, that makes the animals feel more free to be in your presence. Swiftness. You know what? For some reason with swiftness, I've never gotten this message before, but I kind of got Taylor Swift. Someone here might like Taylor Swift. But Taylor Swift is making me think, you know, the way like all these big record companies and stuff like that, like I don't even know exactly what happened there because I don't really follow that, but it's just something that's popping into my head. It's kind of like, you know, the way she couldn't get her songs, and so she went and she rewrote her songs, or did she re-record them or something like that? I'm not sure what she did exactly, but because they wouldn't let her have ownership of her songs, she went and like re-recorded them, didn't she? And so there was that like act of rebellion. It's like, oh, you're not going to let me have my songs? Well, I'm going to re-record them and I'm just going to have them anyway, and I'm actually going to make them better than they were before. Like there's that kind, it's kind of like it's impossible to oppress you, and like that's the energy that I'm getting with this. It's like it's absolutely impossible to oppress you. I mean, not impossible because nothing is impossible, but it's very hard. And I keep saying impossible, but maybe because you're just so definitive in that energy. You're like, it's impossible to oppress me. Nobody can oppress me. They can try, but they won't be able to. And it's that kind of thing. It's like if someone wanted with Taylor Swift, it's like they wouldn't give her songs or like ownership to her songs, and so she re-recorded them or like whatever she did. I'm sorry, I'm not entirely sure what she did. If you want to put it in the comments, let me know. But there's that kind of feeling here. It's like, oh, you won't be able to oppress my energy. Like I'll find a way to get around you. And so I think your energy feels very clever and intelligent as well. It's a very clever and intelligent energy as well. Again, keep in mind, this is energy. This is not your actions or words or whatever. We've got Queen of Cups, the therapist. Queen of Cups energy. I'm trying to think on it because I feel like there's something important with this card, specifically what's in the imagery of the card. I think you're very emotionally intelligent as well. It's not just about being intelligent and intellectual. You're also very emotionally intelligent. And people can sense that and feel that as well. Some of you may be like kind of like almost natural psychologists, I think, with this Queen of Cups. It's almost like you just understand people naturally. And your energy is kind of like, I think people, if you're you come into a room, even though there's something quite rebellious or something quite unique about you, I think a lot of people can see themselves in you. And I think it's like that desire to uniquely express themselves and uniquely show up. And like, it's not that the things that you're doing or the unique things that you're deciding to express with your energy may not be the exact thing that the person wants to express, but it's the fact that you're expressing them at all that makes these people feel like they really relate to you. And I think, again, that's a very Aquarian thing. Like, I find like Aquarian energy is very unique, and it's really interested in unique expression and being different from everybody else. But it's on the other side, it's like, well, everyone is different from everyone and everyone's unique, and my unique expression of myself is just my testament to my connection to the collective and my connection to humanity. And that is your energy. And that's where your relatability is. It's like, well, of course I'm unique, but we're all unique. You just make people realize their uniqueness and that no oppressive energy should ever suppress that uniqueness. It's just like your energy is just very like, just be yourself. I don't know if you were attracted to group number 1 as well. Quite different messages though, I will say. The overall vibe is very, very different, but the message of being authentic and just being yourself is at the very core of both. So I don't know if you were attracted to number 1 as well, maybe you want to watch that video, but they are different energies for sure. But it's almost like the core of the message is the same. It's like the bottom line of the message is the same, but the overall vibe is different. So your energy is very, it's like, come on, just be yourself. Just, like what you want to like and enjoy what you want to enjoy and dress however you want to dress and, hang out with the people that you want to hang out with, be around, like, it's like, just that's your energy. Your energy is like, it's very encouraging at the same time. It's like, come on, like you can do it. See, I'm doing it. Why can't you? You can do it as well. You can live this kind of authentic energy within yourself as well. But there's something about like when people observe you, it's like people don't believe that they're intelligent enough to pull off what you're pulling off in terms of your authenticity, and that's where they go wrong, and that's where and maybe that's your energy as well. Maybe you're someone who thinks that like, society has convinced us that we're not intelligent, that like, and maybe you're someone who didn't feel very intelligent in the past or something like that, and you're like, it's not about intelligence, we're all intelligent, it's more about confidence and just going for it. But it's just, There's something about people looking at you and thinking you are doing what you're doing and you're expressing yourself authentically in the way that you are, and that your energy of rebellion is the way that you are like that because you are more intelligent than them, or it's like they wouldn't have the intelligence to pull something like that off, which is like couldn't be further from the truth is what I'm getting. It's not about intelligence, it's about like just going for it and being brave in it in a way. But the way your energy alters a room, I think once you leave a room, again, I think anytime you enter a room, you bring up that uniqueness and individuality in every single person that you interact with or you are near. You kind of inspire people to tap into that uniqueness about themselves, I feel. You know, it's kind of like I'm really getting someone looking at you. Maybe they don't even interact with you, don't even talk to you at a party or at an event, and they just like absorb your energy. And then without even thinking, maybe like they go home, they don't think about it. But maybe in a few days or a few days later, they're like, actually, I've always wanted this haircut. Let me go and get my hair done in this specific way. And they don't even think about like, oh, I got inspired by that person that I saw. But it's like your energy had that influence on them. It's like I've always wanted that unique haircut, and I wouldn't, I would never get it because I thought like, you know, people would judge me, or I always thought I would be judged. I always thought that you know, I had to have a certain type of hair. And they're inspired, but like they may not even realize that it's specifically you that inspired them. Or, you know, they might, you know, someone might interact with your energy at an event or something like that, and they go and all of a sudden they have the courage or the bravery to stand up to a certain oppressive energy in their life, to a boss or to you know, friend who's even trying to be oppressive, and they may not consciously understand why they all of a sudden had that courage, but it's probably um, most likely from being around your energy, being close to you, being close to your energy. It's kind of like you make people feel like it's okay to rebel with your energy. Really is about, you know, without saying anything, without doing anything specifically, just when you walk into a room, every person in that room, whether they realize it or not, consciously or subconsciously, receive a boost in confidence that it's okay to rebel against norms sometimes. It's okay to dream big and want more for themselves and want to really speak out in their very own unique way. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it's actually beautiful, and it's actually fascinating, and it's actually very interesting. But I think I would guess that you are also someone who has like these conversations, because I keep getting that you would be an amazing motivational speaker. That is coming through very strongly for some of you. If this is something that you would like to do, maybe this is something that you've considered as a career, or like you'd like to get into motivational speaking in some shape or form. Um, like I do see that that's something that could be like a really good path for you in terms of career, or just like a life path. Again, I don't even want to look at it from a career perspective. You're someone who could really be a great motivational speaker. And I think your energy of like this kind of like rebellion and following your dreams, it's very strong, but your guides are saying just keep cultivating that, because I feel like there's something very important around this group, that you don't lose that, and you don't, you know, I don't think you will. I don't think that's what the cards are saying, but I feel like they're saying just keep cultivating it, because keep pushing yourself. You're a really big dreamer. I feel like you're a really, really big dreamer, and you know, oppressive energies have nothing on you, but just don't feel like you ever need to I don't think you will. I don't think anyone can oppress you in your dreams or like what you kind of hope for yourself or what you want to achieve. But I think your guides are just kind of giving me a little bit of an encouragement here for you. Just keep striving for like higher and higher and higher and higher ranks in terms of what you're hoping to achieve in this lifetime, because something about your ambition is very, like, you're a very ambitious person, but like from a really good place. Like, it's not just ambition for ambition's sake. It's like ambition that comes from a place of, wanting to be unique, wanting to really express yourself through your full authentic uniqueness, but also wanting the best possible outcome for the collective and for like the overall progress of the people, or of humanity as well. And just, I kind of feel there is a very strong purpose here with you, group 4. I feel like you bring a sense of purpose into a room when you walk into it. You can walk into a room and kind of like energetically highlight each individual's purpose to them without even meaning to do that, without even consciously trying to do that. Yeah, that's what I have for you, group number 4. That's all I have. I don't think I can say anything else about this group. So if you like this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment, especially with your feedback. Let me know if you like this reading and, maybe what resonated, what didn't resonate, if you feel like it. If you'd like to tip, of course, I would also appreciate that. It's not expected, but you can tip me with the love heart, the thanks button on the bottom of the video, or you can tip me on PayPal. It's in the description box below. But other than that, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.